I live near an observation site. The telescope can be seen from miles away, and even though I live a mile away from their entrance, I still must pass a security check. Even since it was built, I noticed the constant traffic of heavy transports passing through the front of my gate. I live in an old farmland and tend to my farm like my dad and grandpa, so life never changed for me. After about 3 years of them completing the site, we would hear this high-pitched ringing sound at night. It would bother the livestock, but it only lasted 5 minutes, so I did not give it any mind. It would start at 10 p.m. and last for 5 minutes, then silence. What was really weird is that after the sound stopped, the silence that would follow felt heavy. No sounds of crickets or owls. In fact, the night felt frozen. I would walk my rounds before I turned in and would see this beam of light shoot up from the main building like some sort of laser. I lived with that for 4 more years, and the ringing sound became background noise. The radio would lose signal or the TV would suddenly switch off. It was an oddity at first, and when I asked the guard about it, he just looked at me like I lost my mind. One night the sound did not come, and that is when I found out why. I was cleaning up after my dinner and planning on checking up on the cows. It was about a minute before 10. My wife and kids were at her parents' place for a gathering party of some sort, so I was all alone, just how I liked it. I stepped out and checked the time. It was 2 past and the ringing sound was not there. I walked to an open spot to check beyond the observation building, and there was no light beaming up. I felt something was off, but did not bother because those big brains there knew what they were doing. Walking to the barn, I felt something move in the trees past my fence. It was like something was stalking me. I didn't carry my shotgun or flashlight because I was so used to the route I didn't need them. I stopped to check the trees and saw nothing. When I began walking again, there was sound like more than one somethings were walking in the shadows. I turned around and bolted back into my home. I picked up the flashlight and shotgun. I walked back out, and that was when I heard this loud crashing sound coming from my gate, and I ran to check what happened. There I saw a truck had smashed my gate but was stuck. The broken gate had snagged the underside of the truck. I hollered at the driver and asked him if he lost his way and mine, but got no answer. I walked to the truck shouting. The driver was gone and the windscreen was smashed inwards. I checked again to see if I could find out what happened, but the place was empty. I was about to check the back when I heard this deep growl from the shadows. I shone my flashlight in that direction and caught a shadow running. I tried to follow it but could not. This was beginning to freak me out, so I headed back to my home. I was going to call the sheriff and let him deal with the situation. Walking back, I heard the footfalls of something running to the gate, and I turned to check only to find nothing. Not wanting to be a meal for whatever the fuck that thing was, I ran and locked the doors of my place. I switched off the lights and tried to call the sheriff. The line was dead. I heard something run to the house, then stop. I slowly tried to check out the windows to see what it was, but there nothing. My heart was beating at 100 miles an hour and I could hear my blood rush. I tried to focus and see what it could be. I stood at the window staring out into the night, hoping to see whatever the thing was. Nothing came for a long while. After an hour, I heard the sounds again. This time they were on the porch, and I hefted the shotgun and aimed at the window. Still nothing. I moved to check, and that was when I heard the window break in the upper floor. It was from the kids' room. I ran to the stairs and aimed my shotgun at the top. Nothing moved. The footsteps moved slowly in the room to the door. I waited and felt my heart beat faster and could taste it. Sweat poured down my face and had to wipe it clear from my eyes. The steps got closer to the stairs and my finger tightened on the trigger. Whatever that thing was, I did not care. I wanted it gone. I saw a dark shadow move at the top and I waited. Then I saw something move and I fired. The roar of the shotgun and flash blinded me for a second. When the smoke cleared, the window behind the stairs was shattered and the wall was peppered with shot holes. I cocked the shotgun and aimed again. No sound this time. The only shouts were that of falling glass and cracking wood. No footsteps. Just like that, the footsteps retreated back to the room and I had it land on the roof and then ground. I turned and aimed at the windows. Slowly moving the muzzle from window to window, then the front door. I was scared out of my mind. Nothing came and the thing might have gone. I walked slowly to the window I was standing earlier and checked outside. There I saw this long black thing standing near my truck. It just stood there. I could not make out what it could be. I squinted and focused as best as I could not figure the thing out. It was like 8 feet tall and all black, no movement, just standing there. I fished out the flashlight and aimed it at the thing. Just before I switched it on, the thing bolted to the right and was gone. I tried to check where it could have gone but could not find anything. I switched it off and waited again. Nothing. The night was silent and heavy. The footsteps returned and they were louder. It was close to where I was. I moved away slowly and followed the sounds with my gun. I was stalking me. I stopped just before the stairs and waited. The shadow passed the door, then stopped before the window. I wanted to fire so badly I could feel the tension of the trigger on my finger. The thing did not move, only waited. A drop of sweat hit my eye and I blinked. The wall shattered inwards and I fired at the same time. The thing screamed and I panicked and tried to cock the shotgun to fire again. It lunged forward and before I could fire, it hit me. I flew backwards and landed on the stairs. The shotgun fell from my hands. I looked up and saw stars flying around. I tried to get up, but there was this overwhelming force that kept me down. I looked down my chest to see what it was. There was nothing there, no shadow, no nothing, and still I could not move. The pressure increased and I could feel my ribcage crack and my insides getting crushed. Each breath was harder than the last. I tried to get up, but the force was too much. The stairs behind me were biting into my spine and the pain was unimaginable. Just when I felt like I was going to lose consciousness, the familiar ringing sound came and whatever this thing was screamed like it was in pain and pressure lifted in a flash. I lay there breathing hard and tried to get up. The screams went out the house and into the night. I did not see what it was and could not even imagine what it could be. All I knew is that ringing sound was like poison for me. After that, the military arrived at my place and they asked me so many questions that I felt like I imagined the whole fucking thing. They made me sign a bunch of documents saying I could not talk about that night and left me with a giant hole in the wall. Whatever that thing was, I have no clue, and soon after I sold my farm and moved to another place.